Hey guys, I'm Danielle and this is Bookchara, and today you are watching my Tales from Two Trails battle June wrap-up and July TBR. So if you haven't heard of the Tales from Two Trails battle, this is a competition hosted by Kim at Expedition Through Pages and is inspired by her monthly TBR game, Tales from Two Trails. In this challenge, Team A, which is the Pirates, led by Kim's mom, Julie, and Team B, the Elephants, led by Kim, compete to see which team can make it to the end of the game board first. The first book I read in June was for water prompt number 1, and I read The River by Gary Paulson. This is the sequel to the book Hatchet. I personally love a good survival story and gave this one 5 stars. For the next prompt, we got second chance author. I decided to, instead of doing this prompt, steal a prompt from the other team. And for that prompt, I stole read a book club book. Last month, in the month of June, my in-person book club was reading The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime by Mark Haddon. This book was fantastic. I do have a full review on my Goodreads, but I think the first line from my review says it all. And that is, there is nothing quite like reading a book and finding pieces of yourself amongst the pages. Needless to say, I gave that one 5 stars. For our last prompt in June, we had another water prompt. So this is water prompt number 2. For this one, I read a book of poetry called Pressed Flowers and the Sea Serpent by Michaela Belmont. And I do have a favorite poem from this collection. It's called The Castle of Winding Things, and it goes like this. In this old, softly crumbling castle, there are winding things. The corridors open to the sky under their protective pillars. The vines trellising along the stone walls, their delicate periwinkle flowers reaching out to a world they have not given up on, despite the heavy, sodden rains. The sunless, brooding skies. The staircase inside, long forgotten, and having forgotten, the sound of human step or hand upon a banister. Most of all, the memories, worn by the only living occupant, in whose mind this place is still pristine and new. In clouded blue eye and wrinkled brow, she would look frail to any that would see her. But she will never die. She is as old as this castle is, as undying, as wild. She braids collected flowers into her hair and waits for the old days to return. So that's just a little taste of the poetry that you would get if you decided to pick that one up. I've kind of been on a poetry kick personally. On that note, if you have any poetry recommendations, please let me know down in the comments. I gave Pressed Flowers and the Sea Serpent by Michaela Belmont 4 stars. For our activity in June, we were supposed to take a picture of a duck. So I found a couple willing participants at a local park in my town. In this photo, you will see 2 mallard ducks chilling out in the shade. That's all I needed to do to complete that activity. So Team A, the Pirates, did win in June. We are getting very, very close to the end of the game board, and honestly, this is still anybody's game at this point. Now I'm going to talk about the Tales from Two Trails battle books that I plan to read in July. So for our first prompt, we got read a book by a favorite author, and this was so timely. This worked out so perfectly because I already had plans to read Golden Fool by Robin Hobb. This is the second book in the Tawny Man trilogy. I am reading this with Bookish Chaz this month, and currently I am on page 195. If you do not know, Robin Hobb is one of my all-time favorite authors. She can do no wrong in my book. So our next prompt is to read a book list book, and this worked out because I was already, again, this worked out, I was already in the process of reading The Diary of a Young Girl by Anne Frank, which, as you can see, is right here on my 100 Epic Reads for Young Adults scratch-off poster. I really do feel like The Diary of a Young Girl is one of those books that enriches you as not only a reader, but as a person. I definitely recommend that you pick this up if you have not already. I gave this 5 stars. And then finally, our third prompt is to read a book that spans multiple timelines, and our group book actually fit this prompt. When you read the group book as part of this game, it not only counts for the points you would normally get for completing that prompt, but it also counts for additional prompts just for being the group book. And so for that one, our group book is The Time Machine by H.G. Wells. I have actually just completed this morning. As far as enjoyment goes, I gave The Time Machine by H.G. Wells 3 stars. It was just okay for me in that respect. However, I do want to say that as far as its significance in literary history and as a work of science fiction regarding this whole concept of the time machine, I definitely can appreciate its value. For our July activity, we were supposed to take a picture of the group book, The Time Machine, in front of a fancy clock. So thankfully, my grandmother came to the rescue and provided me with a fancy clock to take a picture of my ebook version of The Time Machine with. And then both teams have a couple challenges to complete this month as well. The first challenge is to have a cozy reading night, so I'm definitely looking forward to that one. I have not completed that yet. And then also we are supposed to take a picture of a book outside. Again, seems manageable, but I have not completed that one yet either. So that is my June wrap up and July TBR for the Tales from Two Trails battle. If you're participating, please leave me a pirate flag emoji and or elephant emoji down in the comments as applicable. If you're not participating but would like to in future, I am going to leave a link to Kim's channel down in the description box below. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next week with my very first ever episode of my Read Like Graham challenge. Until then, bye.